for joy in the Lord, O you righteous. Praise benefits the upright. Give thanks to the Lord with the lyre. Make melody to him with the harp of 10 strings. Sing to him a new song. Play skillfully on the strings with loud shouts. For the word of the Lord is upright, and all his work is done in faithfulness. He loves righteousness and justice. The earth is full of the steadfast love of the Lord. By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, and by the breath of his mouth all their host. The Lord brings the counsel of the nations to nothing. He frustrates the plans of the peoples. The counsel of the Lord stands forever, the plans of his heart to all generations. Sing to him a new song. Play skillfully on the strings with loud shouts. For the word of the Lord is upright, and all his work is done in faithfulness. He loves righteousness and justice. The earth is full of the steadfast love of the Lord. By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, and by the breath of his mouth all their host. For our heart is glad in him, because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we hope in you. Sing to him a new song. Play skillfully on the strings with loud shouts. For the word of the Lord is upright, and all his work is done in faithfulness. He loves righteousness and justice. The earth is full of the steadfast love of the Lord. By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, and by the breath of his mouth all their host.
Hey, well, good afternoon, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Brad.
I'm Christa.
With the Big Family Homestead. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday whenever you're watching this discussion.
And happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers.
I hope you're a happy mother.
I hope you have been blessed by your families, because I know I have.
And if you feel like you need an extra blessing, well, here we are. I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face.
No.
I was trying to think of something good, ladies. Honestly, trying to think of something good, but yeah, you're stuck with. Well, she's the good part. I'm the.
Oh, come on now.
I'm the sidekick.
No.
I'm the faithful sidekick.
Yeah, whatever.
Hope honestly you're having a blessed day. That's true. We are going to talk today about a much inflated, deflated, changed around, mixed around topic that it seems like everybody and their brother has their 2 cents to talk about when it comes to the real cost of getting involved in food production, homesteading, basic farming. And it seems like everybody has their spin on it.
Yep.
And I guess you could argue that we have our spin on it too, except for the fact we're not going to stand to gain anything by telling you this.
No.
We're going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, our experience and experience of others. And we got the numbers, we got the receipts to prove it.
Yep.
And, but make sure that you understand everybody's situation is different.
Very different. Very different.
So even though we are going, here are the current numbers right from Tractor Supply's website.
Yeah.
On everything, we understand that, guess what? Maybe you have a thing over here at your house that you don't have to buy. Maybe you have a way that you can repurpose blah, 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 and you can save money.
Yep.
Understand that we're trying to take it from the, I have to get everything and I have nothing. That's the base level. But,
This is for your average suburban dweller that doesn't have any of these things laying around their house.
And additionally may not really have the ability to look at a thing and go, oh, I could use it for that, and that, and that, and
Right.
that. Because that took us a long time to get there.
Right. Or they have to have this perfectly manicured whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be exactly.
A chicken couldn't possibly live in that. It needs
No.
to have, a high rise with the butler at the front. And
It has to have heated walls and
oh, yeah.
heated floor.
Yeah. They won't produce it. No,
that is so not true.
So before we really get cracking, let's say hi to the first page of participants, Mom.
All right, Lisa, Cindy, hey everybody, Country Living, Linda, Jayton, Robert, Go West,
Young man.
Joy Loving Yeshua,
All
Ryan.
Ryan Ackerberg. Wait a minute.
I think that
He's
might
out
be.
there.
I think that might be his wife. I'm not exactly sure.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, they're downstairs.
They're friends of ours, and we actually have been videoing because he got a new toy, and his new toy helps clear land. And that
Exactly.
land clearing is, if you hear the beep, 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 that's him.
That's him. Yeah, that's him. Nashika and everybody else. Glad you're here. Glad you could join us for the day.
Please add to the conversation. If you're just watching, I see that there's 50 people watching right now. Put your 2 cents in there. Even if it's just to say, hi, I'm making a comment. It really does help us with the YouTube algorithm. A thumbs up really helps. Even better is a subscription. And by the way, if you don't know, that doesn't cost you a penny. It's just you click the subscribe, and all that does is tell YouTube you'd like to know when we have a new video.
Exactly.
That's all it is. So say hello, everybody. Chime into the conversation. It is recorded.
Yep.
How many of you would consider yourselves at least chickenologists or
Chicken spurts.
gardenizers?
Not chicken experts. Chicken spurts.
Chicken. I don't know. Chickenologists.
I don't know.
No.
Isn't that what Jane all used to call them?
Gardenizers.
Gardenizers.
Or maybe cattle wranglers. How many of you guys have experience out there? Put your 2 cents in. Because here's the thing. A lot of people, what I'm seeing, guys, is that a lot of people are getting YouTube channels, and God bless them. Glad they're doing it. But I think they're kind of skewing the numbers a little bit to make it sound like, come on in. but they're not giving you the whole story because they want you to be involved.
Right.
And I get that. They want you to be involved. However, not everybody is at the same level of engagement. That's the thing. A garden trier. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, a garden trier. That's funny.
I almost thought you said garden tiger. I thought that was cooler. Gardenizer. Yeah, that's like a wrestling name. I am the gardenizer.
That's funny. Chickenizer, gardenologist.
I like that, country living. Mm-hmm. So here's what we decided to do.
I'm the 5-child wrangler.
5-child wrangler. We decided we would start with chickens. We're going to talk about chickens, the numbers. If you did not have chickens, you're starting from, no pun intended, scratch.
Yeah.
I'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waiters and waitresses. Dig deep and don't be cheap. You never heard that?
Yeah, I think I probably have.
It's like sounds standard to me, like a joke.
Yeah. Sounds something like your dad would say.
Actually, that was John Busick.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Friend of ours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so if you were zero, like you're starting from scratch, Christa did the research, so Krista's going to read what the costs are involved, and then we're going to talk about what the cost of a dozen eggs is currently.
Right.
And we're going to look at it.
Right. So this is current costs. I went on to the Tractor Supply app, which, yes, I have the app because we're there a lot.
Yeah, too often.
Too often. So the cost of chicks, 10 count, via their app. I don't know what they are in the store because I know you don't have to buy 10.
Could be a BOGO offer.
I don't know.
No, I doubt it.
But to get female chicks, so pullets is what they're called, that's $39.99. So $40 for 10 female chicks. If you get them unsexed, it's a total crapshoot.
And you're rolling the dice.
Yeah, you're getting roosters, and you may get 7 roosters.
Maybe you want roosters.
Maybe you want roosters, and you can put those in the freezer. That's entirely up to you. But those are $33.99.
But for this, we're talking about egg production.
We're talking about egg production, so we're going to go with the $39.99 for 10 female chicks.
There you go.
Okay, then you have to get the grower feed. You can't just give them layer feed all right away. You have to give them the grower feed. It's 20% protein. They need that higher protein for growing, obviously, a grower feed.
Okay. We have better ways to do this that we have shared, cheaper ways to feed them better.
Yes.
We're just talking about what they say you should do.
Right.
So keep in mind, we'll share the secrets.
Yes.
But
so a 50-pound bag of grower feed, the Dumore brand, DUMOR, the Dumore brand is $23. Okay. Current prices. Then you've got to have something to feed and water them with. So you can buy the containers and the water jugs and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Well, the waterer and the feeder, those are $10 each.
they are nice because then they don't waste as much.
True.
As much.
True. Then, of course, they're chicks. You have to have a heat lamp and the light bulb.
Or else they will
die.
Yep.
Because they'll get cold. They have to be warm. A heat lamp alone is $13. Then you need to buy the actual lamp, which is another $8. Okay?
Make sure you don't forget the guard or else things burn.
Right. Then you have to have an extension cord, a 50 foot. You can get a shorter one if you need. It depends on your distance of electricity. Yeah. But I found a 50-foot electric extension cord, $20. Okay? This stuff adds up. Now, I did see that they have a kit for the chicks with the light, the water, the feeder, and the light bulb. Now, that was $40. Well, I added them both up. You're really only saving $2 with the kit. So
yeah,
But
they do have a really cool cardboard cutout of a chicken.
That sounds like fun.
And a sticker.
Then, of course, you need something to put those chicks in. You can't just let them roam around in your, garage. Trust me when I tell you, you really don't want them in your garage anyway.
Yeah, the dander is ridiculous.
The dander gets all over everything. And if anyone in your household has respiratory issues, you do not want them in your house. So, a brood box, you can use whatever you find. We've used big storage containers. We've used cardboard boxes, old freezers.
That was a great one.
It did tend to get a little warm, though. You can't close the lid because they'll suffocate.
Yeah.
Not that we did, but so a brood box, you could, like I said, you can use a baby pool. If you buy the wooden brood boxes from Tractor Supply, however, those are $80 for plywood, folks. Okay. Even the blue pools, the 59-inch blue pools, those are $25. This is insane. They used to be $5, $6, $8, something like that. Well, then, of course, these chicks are going to outgrow that brood box, and then you've got to put them in a coop. A coop. Well, the 14 chicken size coop at Tractor Supply was a whopping $1,000.
This is insane, people.
Okay, $1,000. And, you have 10 chickens, so you kind of have to make sure that there's enough room. And you know how chicken math works. All you ladies that have chickens.
I don't know.
There's total chicken math. You have some chickens, you're going to have more chickens.
Got it. They multiply. Even though they're single sex.
Right. They just happen to, they just grow.
All of a sudden, there's more chickens.
We planted and we got more. I don't know.
Got it.
They do have a 6 chicken coop, but that's not going to really work for 10 chickens. That one's only $400. But still, folks, $400 for a little box?
Okay, now. Hold on. Before we go to the totals and average things out, I need to reiterate, because there's new people watching who are going, what are you talking about?
Sure, right.
I would never pay that for that. And you're right.
You're right.
You shouldn't.
No.
We make do with what we have. We jerry-rig things. We build our own stuff, our own enclosures. Do they need the fancy this bucket, that? But no, they're chickens.
Of course they do.
No.
They're chickens.
They don't.
No, they don't.
And we have done it on a shoestring budget, but this is what they say now. Go ahead. I saw that, Linda. I'm ignoring that.
We're not talking about that at all.
Because you know what? I don't want to get in trouble again. We keep getting in trouble with YouTube. Peace. That's what she's saying. She's saying peace.
Sure.
Peace. So go with your totals, Mom.
My totals. Okay. So female chicks, the feed, and this is the price for only one bag of feed. That's going to keep going. Not the multiple ones. This is just to get started day one. That's $1,150. $1,150, folks. Okay? That is a hefty price. Yeah, that's just crazy. Just crazy. So, we calculated that the cost to cover this would need to be 6,900 eggs.
Okay, well, let's back up, because that kind of it's a funny way to come around that, because
sure, okay.
All in all, totaled everything. What's that grand total again?
$1,150.
So that said, now the cost currently of 1 dozen eggs, the garbage eggs, not the free range, not the organic, just the basic run-of-the-mill eggs is
$1.70.
Okay.
So I just averaged up to $2 to make things easy.
Round up the math. We'll call the 30 cents, whatever, right?
Right. There's tax. Not that much, but yeah, there's.
So that
there's no tax on food, sorry.
Those chickens got to lay how many eggs now? Just to break even?
6,900 eggs. Just to break even.
Those poor vents.
Right?
They're going to be blazing vents.
Right.
And if you know chickens, you know what I mean.
So that is, okay, so if you divide that out by 10 chickens, each chicken has to lay 690 eggs. That's
wow.
And if you got good laying chickens, that's going to take them 2.5 years to pay this off.
Yep. Now,
to pay you back in eggs.
Just let that sink in again. Okay. So every egg you get for the next 2.5 years is just to get back to zero.
Right. 2.5 years.
Okay.
Until you get paid back. So if you think about it, we have just been paid back. Well, we're at 3 years now, so we've been paid back for a little bit.
But we've also had to get new chickens.
We did get new chickens.
They're much better layers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, these ones have been great.
If I can recommend any breed of chicken, I know there's so many beautiful breeds of chickens, but honestly, I want chickens that are going to lay me eggs.
Yep.
I want them to lay some eggs for our family. ISA Browns. ISA Browns. They are fantastic
Good
chickens.
temperament.
Excellent temperament. Don't have a rooster unless you want to incubate your own eggs. They're a lot nicer when there's not a rooster around.
Because they view you as the rooster.
Sure.
Which is nice.
Sure. Or each other.
Well, they do sometimes mount up on wings as eagles.
Yes.
But they're chickens.
It's just so
weird.
weird.
Just so weird.
So weird.
But they do like to be held. They like to come around you. They want to be by you. You're the boss.
Yeah.
And they don't peck at you. At least ours don't.
No, ours are quite
they don't
docile.
mess with the kids.
And this particular breed, they start laying eggs at 4 months.
Nice.
Pretty much to the day, actually.
Nice.
Where a lot of chickens don't lay until they're 6 months. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So now, just quick going back, you don't have to spend all that kind of money on being effective with chickens. You really need to make sure, do I have a place for them to be safe out of the weather?
Yep.
Stay warm enough. People don't realize that chickens are cold, hardy animals. We have them in central Wisconsin.
When they're fully feathered, yeah.
Yeah. We have them in Wisconsin, and geez, it was -20.
Easy. I think it was negative
several
30.
days.
Some days.
Not a problem. Yeah. And you don't have to heat their room as long as they can get out of the wind, stay out of the water.
Stay out of the wet, right.
And, it's nice that they can go into their nesting boxes if they get really cold.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
That's not to say abuse your animals, because no. But you need something to keep them out of the weather, keep them out of the wet, give them a nesting box, or else it's going to be, where's Waldo every day?
Yeah. See, I didn't calculate the nesting box in here yet.
Oops.
This is just for chicks, to get started with chicks. I completely forgot about the nesting box.
We'll call that.
Well, you can use so many different things for your nesting box. You can build your own. You can use egg crates. You can use buckets. It's entirely up to you on what you want to use.
Yeah. How many of you guys out there do chickens? I see that there's a few.
I would imagine.
I see that Country Living does. Angel's Journey, they do ducks now, I guess. They also do emu, which I don't know how that happened.
Right.
They went from chickens
Angel's
to ducks
Journey,
to
the chicken math
emu.
in their house is a strange thing. My chickens begot ducks, then geese, then emus.
I'm guessing
That's
Scott
really
does,
funny.
but I don't know if we've ever talked about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Here's the point. You don't need to spend $1 gazillion on chickens. There's very little that you need to do. Let's tell them the trick on saving half of your feed bill, and I mean half, without gypping them in terms of nutrition.
Yep.
They still get the same amount of nutrition. So
what we do is we take our chicken feed. We buy the Prince brand, which is a local brand here. We buy the crumbles, and let's just say we take 2 coffee cans, the small coffee cans, 2 of those, and 1 of the rolled corn, and then we mix that with our extra milk. And that has... You let it sit overnight, and it gets nice and bubbly, and it starts to break down. And then the chickens actually use 80% of that nutrition instead of 20% if you just gave it to them dry.
Wow.
Yeah. So our chickens
do far better.
Far better. And we started them when we bought the chicks. We started them on the dry feed, and then about week 1.5, 2 weeks, we started giving it to them fermented with milk. They grew faster, healthier. They feathered out really nicely. I'll never go back if I can avoid it. If we didn't have a milk cow, I'd still be doing it with water.
Yep.
But it's so much better. And they're just such healthy birds.
Yep. And let's see. Fermented feed for the win, says Dean's Homestead. And it's been working for us. Cool comment here, Mom. King Dre Day. Hi. Me and my wife just finished your rural development loan video that we did years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And blessed our life.
I'm so
about
glad.
to go fill out the app now. I'll tell you what.
That's
Let me
awesome.
tell you what. We've done it, and then we told some friends of ours, this is how you do it. They got a house.
Yep.
We've told several other people, and they've used the program, and it's been great. Just be aware, and I think we stressed it in the video, but it's been years.
It's been so long, I can't remember.
You're going to have to jump through hoops in terms of what rural property you're looking to get, because they even make you take a class.
Yeah.
It was online. It was no big deal.
It's an online class.
It was no big deal.
8 hours, but it's so worth it.
But yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. Anyway, just I saw that caught my eye, and we haven't seen that in years. So awesome, good for you.
That's
I honestly hope you get what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So,
I got to go to a question. Oh, Connie. She said she can't ferment the feed. It molds. Well, are you keeping it outside in a warm place, or are you keeping it, say, in a cooler place, like your kitchen, like your garage or something like that? Because that definitely, when you have it, it totally makes a difference. If it's outside in the warm, of course, I don't know where you live. We live up in Wisconsin, and it
just stays in the barn or the garage, depending on the temperature.
And it generally stays cool in both of those places. So,
but I also know that Tyler Woods, the bulletproof pastor down in Texas, he's done similar things with no issues. So that's pretty hot there.
Yeah, very hot.
So anyway, let's talk now about gardening, because gardening is one of those things, like chickens, where people just think, oh, well, I'll just buy a bunch of seeds, I'll throw them in the ground, and before you know it, I'll have so much food, it'll be coming out of my ears.
Sure.
And it never works out the way you think it does. Even for gardeners that have been doing this their whole lives, they'll tell you what. Somebody said it earlier. I'm a garden trier rather than a gardener.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, folks. There are folks, and if you're one of these, I promise I'm not trying to be insulting to you. I'm just saying that this is not a good way to think about it. There are folks who think, well, I got a survival seed bank, and if society goes weird, I'm just going to rip up my lawn or maybe front yard, backyard, doesn't matter what.
Good luck.
And then I'm going to make a garden, and poof, we're off to the races. Let me tell you what. In experience of our own and friends of ours and other people, it just doesn't work that way.
No.
That's like the fantasy land thing.
Right.
We can't tell you how many entire species of plant we've killed by accident or choked out or didn't water right, or they just didn't take in that ground because there was too much acid or there was too much this or not enough water. And gardening is not one of those things where you just go be shelly bim poof and then something comes up out of the ground.
Right. No.
I mean, you can get lucky by accident, but I would make it akin to gambling.
Right. Well, and we have tilled up yard before. No, that doesn't work either.
Grass.
You actually have to
rip it up.
Cut the sod out. You have to use a tractor or a shovel, or it's backbreaking work. You have to get rid of the sod, the top whatever layer, to be able to get to soil to plant in there. And hopefully you don't have any weeds that grow up, but it's not possible. It's not easy work, I should say.
Scott's got the laughing emoji craziness going on. It says, try to garden in North Carolina, red clay. 18 years of composting, and it's still got a ways to go. So,
oh my.
Can you imagine? The last home that we sold when we lived in Ohio, we had planted how many fruit trees?
20.
If you can imagine our joy and delight as we're headed to Wisconsin, people, and all of that money and all that effort and all that fertilizer and all that pruning, and you know what the first thing they did when they got in that house?
They ripped them out.
For a front yard garden. Or no, front yard grass.
Just for front yard grass.
Just for front yard grass.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of let down about that. A lot.
Had we known, we might wanted to try to take them with.
Yeah, it would have been not easy to do, though.
Oof.
So, yeah, it seems like the last, I don't know, several places we've planted fruit trees, and yeah, then we
Have you ever been there?
move.
You guys, that's like our curse.
Mm-hmm.
That's the curse. The kiss of death is if we start planting a bunch of fruit trees, it means we're going to have to move soon.
We're not moving. We've planted 10. We're not moving. We're going to plant some more again this year or next year.
Marley the Dino says, I have my home now because of watching your video. What?
Oh, that's amazing.
On the USDA.
That's
cool.
amazing. I'm so glad.
Man, that's really great news. I
I'm
really
so
do
glad.
appreciate
It
that.
really helped our family, and I'm so glad it was
Yeah.
able to help you guys.
Actually, that's the house we got into, the one we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then they ripped out the orchard.
And the fence that we put up out and back. And
Oh, they did. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of effort, too.
that was a lot of effort. But
Anyway,
it's
okay.
their house. They can do what they want, right?
Let's talk about gardening mistakes because we're talking about the cost of homesteading. And most people just, frankly, don't count the cost. We get in our minds this fantasy idea of what we think it's going to be like. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so great. For example, how much do you think those tomatoes? Do you remember the tomatoes you bought today? The little cherry tomato things.
Oh,
Because it's not gardening time for here.
$3.79, I think.
No. Okay.
I can't
So
remember.
$3.79. Or you could just put
just-
tomato seeds in your garden, right?
Well, no, that doesn't work here. You can't just put the seeds in the ground.
Wait a minute.
It doesn't work that way.
So you got to buy the seeds.
You have to buy the seeds, and you have to start them 2 months ago.
Well, how much do the seeds cost? That should be like pennies.
I think they're like $1.99 a package
Okay.
of seeds.
Oh,
And you get maybe 30.
over half of the cost of the package of tomatoes?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Then, wait a minute. I don't have so I got to get a tiller or borrow a tiller,
Yeah.
rent a tiller? Kevin Sweeney, you're asking what episode was the USDA? Okay, I can't remember because it's literally like 5 years ago, but it's the USDA Rural Loan Development Program. You can go look it up. It's a .gov site, USDA Rural Loan Development Program, and you basically can get either loans that have extremely low down payment, if not no down payment,
Right.
and or where they just take care of the down payment. There's all kinds of
low-
different programs they
Very
have.
low interest rate. Oh.
Yeah. So check that out.
Abundantly Blessed is saying seed packages are $3 to $4 this year.
All right. We sit corrected.
Well, I haven't bought any this year, so that's why I thought they were $1.99.
Okay. So, alrighty. We're in the negative.
Big time.
We're in the negative with a package of seeds. Then you're going to have to put it in something. Are we talking tiller or are we talking like ground or buckets?
Well, I mean, up here you have to start them inside, so you have to have, the little soil blocks. You have to have the tray to put them on. You have to have heat lamp or light. Something, you need to heat the bottom of it. If your house is cold, you need to heat that because seeds don't germinate if it's cold. Unless they're like peas and beans, they like it when it's cold, but tomatoes and peppers, they like their soil warm, so you have to warm up the trays. So you need a light because
fertilizer.
They require light. You need some some, you can get some organic fertilizer or
you
some
got to feed
manure
it
outside.
somehow.
You got to feed it somehow. And you got to put these on something. You just can't leave them on the ground, especially if you have dogs.
What about rabbits?
Because
I know
our dog
tomatoes?
just likes to water everything. And
see, the point is this, guys. You don't think about it being expensive until you really all of a sudden go, well, wait a minute. We rented a tiller. That was, $250. We bought the seeds. We bought the fertilizer. We had to put a fence up. And then there was the cost of the tools. And there was the cost of this and the cost of that. So this little package of tomatoes did not cost me $3. No. It cost me $700.
yeah.
Point is, it takes a long time to get to zero.
Right.
However, here's the big question, guys. And this is, how many of you think that control over your food supply is getting more and more centralized, say, by big business and big GOV? How many of you guys think that's honestly the case? Like, the fix is in and you're not part of it.
Gosh.
I don't know if you guys heard this, but did you see that Tractor Supply is now not going to be selling antibiotics over the counter for farmers?
Well, and that's not a Tractor
Soon?
Supply issue.
It's
that's
an
an overall
issue.
issue. So we can't call them out.
No, I'm saying that I saw it.
Yeah, you're right. It's an overall GOV issue that they're not allowing them to be sold over the counter anymore.
So here's the issue. That means that, let's say you got a milk cow, like we do. Mm-hmm. You're not a full-blown dairy, but you're just a milk cow. You can't go buy those things without having a vet come out. Right. And then the vet is going to say, well, first of all, that's going to be a couple $100 visit to get $20 antibiotics. Yeah. And then the vet could very well say, hey, you don't have the right chemical concoction in this animal's bloodstream. Right. And I can't do anything until you do that. Think it's not coming?
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
When we were talking to a farmer earlier today about this exact topic,
Yep.
and this particular farmer has 300 head of dairy cattle. And this particular farmer said it would put me out of business.
It would. Because if he has one sick cow, the vet's got to come out for that one. And then another one gets sick. Then the vet's got to come back out again. And it's a constant. I mean, the vets are not going to be able to keep up with demand.
Maybe they should have coupons. Buy one, get one for the vet.
Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen. I doubt that. I mean, for our area here, we have two large animal. The one vet clinic. In Medford, there's only one vet clinic.
True.
And they have two large animal vets.
They're both awesome.
They're both great. They go to our church. They're awesome people. But there's only two that do the farm visits. Yep. And then they have, I think they've got two more that stay in and do small animal visits. But there's another vet clinic up in Phillips, north of here. There's one in Abbotsford. There's one in Athens. There's lots of vet clinics, but still, they're not going to be able to keep up with the demand of all of the farms around here. I mean, Wisconsin is the dairy state, folks, for one specific reason. There are thousands. Yes, there are thousands of dairy farms in Wisconsin. Yeah. And why we still getting 90% of our milk from Canada, I have no idea. I have nothing against Canada, but it's we have
politically motivated.
Millions of gallons of milk right here.
So there's a great point here. Milk and Honey Heritage Farm says, wonder what old ways really work that people did in the old days. That would be an excellent, because you know what? They did not have access to that kind of medicine.
No,
they didn't.
It wasn't a thing.
Yeah. So there's the question. Did they just put them in the freezer? I don't know. That'd be a good study to find out. Well, that was the funny thing is that's one of the reoccurring themes that a lot of people have been saying when they've been watching our videos. They're like, well, if an animal does that, into the freezer camp.
Right.
If
an animal goes down, like with milk, well, not with milk fever. Milk fever is easy to fix in a cow.
With antibiotics.
No, calcium.
Yeah.
Liquid calcium. Just put it in calcium. But if a cow goes down, depending on what it is, you're just going to put it in the freezer. Sometimes it's not worth, the thousands of dollars to see. Okay. I hate saying it like that because the animal is worth helping.
Yes, absolutely.
But if it is not able to be helped, say it's a broken hip or a broken leg that is not ever going to mend right, then something's got to be done.
Well, you take care of business and you make sure the animal doesn't hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hate those days.
I don't like those
Gosh,
things.
I
don't
hate
like
those
that.
days.
I don't like that at all. No.
But you know what? Sometimes when you're dealing with animals, a friend of ours, it's been a hard thing to understand, but when you have livestock, sometimes you're going to have dead stock.
Yeah.
And it's a reality of life because they're just like mortal beings too. Stuff happens. They get sick, they fall, this, that.
Yeah.
Except sometimes they don't have the medical treatments that we do. And even if they did, it's like, wow, how do you do that? What are the logistics in getting a hip replacement on a cow? Probably not.
No, I don't know if they do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So here's the kicker with this whole video, guys. It's count the cost before you start. And don't count the cost in fantasy land. Because everybody has this idea. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to raise rabbits. Here, let's try this one. Rabbits are easy, right? Well,
sure.
They are easy. Except for the fact that to give them the correct kind of enclosure so that they can live and not be unhealthy and not hurt their feet. And they're not going to get out and they're not going to get sick. Well, that's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Waterers. Heat for your waterers. That was one that we forgot even in Ohio.
Right. Yeah, you can't do the regular rabbit water.
The shaker ones.
The ones that have the little spout, because that spout freezes in minutes. Even though in Ohio you have to feed with a bowl or a heated bowl, and it's just more work.
You got to count the cost.
Yeah.
Whether you're planting a field of, feeder corn to blast deer, you're going to have to count the cost.
Right.
And not just think, well, I'll just run out there and homesteading. And
you really have to think about the cost and the work that's going to go into it and find out if this is really what you want for your family. Yes, the key thing is how those animals are being treated. You know what those animals are being fed, and you know what's going to happen on the last day of their time before they go into your freezer. Those are super important, and that was one reason why we started doing what we were doing, is because we watched a couple of documentaries on how chickens are raised, and
that was it.
How
we're done.
Beef cows were raised, and I'm sorry, we can't do that. Just can't do that.
No, and
can't
even
support that industry.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that there is a cost benefit to knowing what you're eating.
Exactly.
Knowing what your kids are eating, and the idea that you can treat those animals humanely is huge.
Yeah,
it's huge. Yeah. Like today, we've got some friends over. He's out in his skid steer having fun, driving around in the woods.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make ziti for everybody to have for food.
Yeah.
Well, we had some time after church and we thought, well, let's just go get some beef. And we were like, no, we can't do it.
No.
Not when you know how those animals are treated.
Right.
Not when you know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And that's horrible. And so for us, we made the decision that if we're going to continue eating meat, mm-hmm. well, there it is.
Yep.
We're going to have to treat those animals with absolute utmost respect.
Exactly.
And hopefully if we did our job right, they won't even know what happened.
No. It'll
just, for cows, wherever cow heaven may be, it'll be like, hey, who the heck are you? You look like Jesus, cow version. Cow version. I don't know. Like, if we did our job right, they won't even know what happened.
No. Mm-mm. No.
So, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I can tell Christa's falling asleep.
I'm not falling asleep.
It's true.
I'm not. Not yet.
She is.
This time of the afternoon, I get so tired. I've been up since 6. I get tired.
See, she was fibbing about it. She almost smacked the stop button. All right. Hey, don't do that. Uh-huh. Hey, I'm Brad.
I'm Christa.
You guys have an amazing and blessed day.
Trespasses and sins in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now working the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived in the passions of our flesh, carrying out the desires of the body and the mind. And we were by nature children of wrath, like the rest of mankind. But God, being rich in mercy because of the great love with which He loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up with Him, and seated us with Him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus, so that in the coming ages He might show the immeasurable riches of His grace in kindness toward us in Christ Jesus. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus